Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hobart Bay Sports Network. I am your host Justin Winter, and today we have the Pac-12 Conference Championship between the Hobart Bay Ones and the UCLA Bruins. Lee Corso is taking UCLA, and both of these teams have elite defenses. Both defenses could make the claim for top in the nation. However, Hobart Bay does allow fewer points, and in the end, that's more important. UCLA is led by Devin Modster, who's 220 for 373, nearly 3,000 yards. He'll probably break that today. 30 touchdowns, but 10 picks. Maybe a little high on that end. He's got decent speed, 87 speed, 81 excel, and he's got a good arm too, 89 throw power, 92 throw accuracy. Do not underestimate this man, although he was a little lackluster last year. At the receiving end, they have Theo Howard, who has doubled or more his receiving total on his career this year, and he has 16 touchdowns of his 23 career touchdowns. He's very good. He's got, actually kind of slow for a receiver, but he's got decent acceleration, and he's got the finest pair of hands that you will see on the entire UCLA roster. He's very good. And then at defensive end, they have Joe Byers, who has 29 tackles this year, 17 for loss, 37 assisted tackles, and 5 sacks. In addition, he's got 4 pass deflections and he's forced a fumble. However, he has not taken one for a touchdown, unfortunately for him. He's kind of slow for an end. We've seen higher speed ends before, but boy, he's got the moves to make it pay, and he can be a big nuisance there on the edge. Welcome to Denver, Colorado, where Hobart Bay takes on UCLA for the second year in a row in the Pac-12 championship game. Hobart Bay is eyeing something that no one thought that they would ever come close to in any short amount of time. They're looking at a college football playoff berth. UCLA is hoping to play spoiler and earn a spot in the Rose Bowl, where they would be playing in front of a home crowd. Hobart Bay's got a dynamic passing offense, as does UCLA. The Hobart Bay's rushing offense is kind of lackluster. Still, UCLA struggled last year, and we'll see if those struggles continue. Hobart Bay, they were very good last week against Cal. We'll see if they can continue that hot hand here against the Bruins. Let's go down to the coin toss now. Find out who gets that critical decision. UCLA gets to choose because they are the away team and they lose the coin toss. So Hobart Bay will elect a kick to start off. And here we go. From Denver, Colorado, the Pac-12 Championship. We have kickoff from Otis Spielberg. That one's going down to the back of the end zone. Stevens won't bother taking it out. And that's how the game starts, with a good old touchback. First down and 10 for UCLA. Starting off in the I formation, 2 wide receivers to the right. It's a handoff to Stevens, and Stevens has the edge, and he gets taken down after a solid gain of 5. Good start. Third down and 2, another handoff to Stevens, and he gets he gets his first down. 7 yards. Good start for Brandon Stevens. Second down and 10, UCLA, a lot more traditional style offense. Most offenses go with more shotgun, as Pollard gets a first down, 11 yards. Third down and 6 for UCLA. This is already a better offensive start than they had last year. Last year, they could barely do anything. Monster taking his time, maybe a little tired. It's a draw to Stevens again, and he gets tackled after a gain of 5. So, despite a strong start for Brandon Stevens, 4 carries for 19 yards, UCLA is actually going to punt. 4th down and 1, they're in no man's land. And that kick will just go out the back of the end zone. So Hobart Bay gets an opening drive stop, and they will take over at the 20-yard line. 3 receivers out in the pattern. It's a handoff to Tyree Nolan on the option. He'll get spun down after a gain of 8. So both teams have a good strong run to start off the game. Second down and 2, split backfield, Regis and Nolan there. It's a handoff to Nolan, and Nolan gets some blocks up the middle, and he'll get another 7. Good strong start for Tyree Nolan. 2 receivers to the right, pair of tight ends. It's a counter to Tyree Nolan. Has some space on the outside, and his own lineman got in his way. He was trying to get the extra block, but the big man isn't quite fast enough for that. Same formation, just opposite sides. Strupinski just gets the snap off, rolls out, and he takes a huge sack, loss of 8. Oh, you can't be taking that. Joe Byers with the sack. We highlighted him before the game, and boy, he made his presence known early. Strupinski sending everyone deep as he rolls out again. He'll run it this time, and comes up a yard short. Good stop for UCLA if they can hold them on 4th down. Hobart Bay have been very aggressive on 4th down recently. Strupinski keeps, and he just gets enough for a 1st down. 2 yards. So he has 3 carries for 4 yards, but it's enough. But will it be enough here? 3rd down and 10. 4 wide receivers. Strupinski sends Nolan 2, and he takes another huge sack. Loss of 13. Taylor Thomas gets this one, and they're not going for that. They're not that aggressive, although they did go for a 4th and 15 against Boise State. Monster drops back, swings it out to Brandon Stevens, and he loses 3. He had all the space in the world, but he just couldn't stay in bounds. 4 receivers, empty set. Stevens gets the screen, and Stevens, oh my goodness, Brandon Stevens is having a day so far. End of the 1st quarter coming up, 3rd down and 6. Monster looks to throw, runs instead, and he takes a sack. Loss of 2, and that is Michael Wallace tying the school record for most sacks in a season. He will most likely surpass that record, which was set by Nate Link. We are tied at 0 at the end of the 1st quarter. Here we go. 3rd down and 7 for Hobart Bay to start off the 2nd. They have 4 wide receivers out there. Strupinski, no, Nolan will stay there. Strupinski's running for his life. He chucks it deep, and that's caught by Thien Nguyen. He comes across the field. How about that for some improv? Bailing out his quarterback. And that is the 1st completion for Strupinski today. He's 1 for 3. Now they're coming out in the I formation. 2 receivers to the right. Toss left to Tyree Nolan. And he got absolutely no help. Or at least not enough. Loss of 3. Reggie Hall on the tackle. They pick up 2 on 2nd down, so it's 3rd down and 11. Still not an ideal situation. Strupinski will obviously throw, and he loves to roll out. He does it all the time. He keeps it himself, and he fights forward for the 1st down. Strupinski picks it up. It gets him to 6 runs for 6 yards, although that does count sacks, so it's kind of skewed. 2nd and 9, Strupinski swings it out. Intercepted! That's Sam London, and he's in a foot race. They're not going to catch him. He's matching them stride for stride. UCLA strikes first. Wow. And Strupinski has as many completions to the opposing team as he does to his own team. Wow. UCLA up 7-0 as Strupinski takes another big sack. Brian Richardson gets this one. UCLA spreading the wealth with these big tackles for loss. Hobart Bay needs to get something going. Strupinski looks to throw. Airs it out over the middle, and that's caught by Tyler Lamb. He held on despite the contact. He's very reliable in that facet. So there we go. Hobart Bay, perhaps that could be a spark. Handing off to Tyree Nolan, who goes up the middle. Good, solid 7-yard pickup. You know, some days with Hobart Bay, the runs, they just don't work. Some days, they're amazing. Strupinski looks to throw again, and he finds Bubba West. Bubba West makes a man miss with the deceptively agile big boy moves. 1st down and 10, Hobart Bay. Read options, Strupinski keeps. They do a plenty of read options, and he stumbles forward for 13. Probably could have had more, or he could have slid, but the trip stopped that. So 1st and goal, split backfield again. Will they hand off? Yes, they will, to Tyree Nolan, and Nolan spins, and he gets 5. Good, solid game. Less than a minute left. Now down to 10 seconds, 3rd and goal. Hobart Bay has 2 timeouts. And Strapinski keeps and fights forward for a Hobart Bay touchdown. With 7 seconds left in the half, Hobart Bay is going to tie this game up. So UCLA will not have the lead unless they get a Hail Mary here. 2 seconds left. Everyone knows what's coming. Monster's just going to air it out. Here we go. And that is intercepted by Jacoby Jackson. And he does not get out of the traffic, so he cannot really return it. Still a good stat booster for Jacoby Jackson. And that will end the first half. Hobart Bay lead. Well, no, there's no lead. We're tied at 7. I'm not sure how I would describe this half. I really don't want to call it interesting in light of me calling it every single half in the first 2 seasons of Hobart Bay football interesting. But very defensive battle. Hobart Bay has done very good in keeping UCLA in check. The Bruins had the first drive, which was going well. Hobart Bay got the stop, and UCLA played very conservative by punting the ball. And since then, Hobart Bay's defense has been very, very solid. And UCLA's defense has also been very good. I mean, they've gotten plenty of sacks and tackles for loss. I think we have at least 3 sacks for UCLA. You look at the time of possession, it doesn't really matter when the score is tied. Hobart Bay will wear out the UCLA defense if they keep it up. Each team has a turnover because, of course, Hobart Bay has to have their obligatory turnover. It's happened every single game. They have the worst turnover differential in the nation, and yet they're 11-1. Hobart Bay's offense, it has done better than UCLA by yardage, but it's just been a very defensive game. The defenses have come up with plays when they needed to, and we've only had 1 solid drive the entire first half. Here we go. UCLA kicking off to start off the second half. Here we go. There's Trey Regis. He will return. He goes left. They love to go to the left here, and Trey Regis has some space on the outside. He gets pushed out of bounds just past the 30-yard line. Good return to start off the second half. Both teams were pretty lackluster on offense to start off. First half was kind of slow. Strapinski will start off by bombing, and it's caught by Bubba West. Watch out! In a foot race, he gets it all the way. Touchdown, Hobart Bay. What a way to start off the second half. Airing it out with a 70-yard bomb, and that one breaks Zach East's single-season passing yards record. What a way to break it, too. Great play from Strapinski to West. Wow! 13 seconds in, and Hobart Bay has already taken the lead. That's their first lead of the game, too. So now UCLA is coming out. Monster drops back, decides to run with it, and he has some space. And he lost the football. It's picked up by Jimmy Hollis, and Hobart Bay is in position to score again. Wow! That's the second straight game where Hobart Bay has forced a fumble. We don't really see a lot of them, but 2 games in a row. Wow, Strapinski keeps here, and he will slide down. First down, Hobart Bay. Wow! Second down and 5, about as strong a start to the half as you could ask for. Wow. Strapinski just gets the snap off, looks to throw, finds Bubba West over the middle. Boy, what a start to the half for him, too. 3 catches, 107 yards. Helps if you get, I think it was officially 69 yards. Strapinski keeps on the option, has some space, and gets across the goal line. Touchdown, Hobart Bay. And just like that, the Ones have a 2-touchdown lead. That will make for 21 unanswered after the extra point. After UCLA got the pick 6, Hobart Bay's offense has just come alive. Kind of seems the opposite of what it should be. You would think that throwing a pick would kill the offense, but instead, it's completely just set them on fire. That one's caught by Brandon Stevens. He'll pick up 6 yards. Respectable game. Third down and 4. Ace formation, 2 tight ends left, 2 receivers to the right. Monster drops back, finds Pollard, and he just gets the first down. Unlike last year when they couldn't get a first down to save their life, They kept on coming within a yard. This time he actually gets it. So there's at least an improvement on that end. Hand off to Brandon Stevens, and he gets stuck. They pushed the lineman back, and Jacoby Jackson came in and cleaned him up. 3rd down and 11 for UCLA. They need to get something going. Monster finds Williams, but he isn't even close to the 1st down marker. Doug Glover makes the play, and Hobart Bay gets the ball right back. A chance to extend their lead even more. Here we go. It's the same play they scored the touchdown on, and this one does not get a touchdown. It gets 7 yards. Good for a 1st down. Tyree Nolan, his 1st catch on the day. Hobart Bay has double the 1st downs that UCLA does, but it feels like they're doing so much more. Strupinski gets another 1st down. Oh my goodness, the Hobart Bay offense has just come alive. Receivers out right, tight end left, handoff Nolan, has some space. Ooh, made a man miss. He only gets 6 yards off of it. Still a good run. Here we go, all the receivers are out left. They're bunching them up out there. Tyler Lamb to the right, so is Nolan. He goes to block. Strupinski finds Gio Saria, but he couldn't keep his feet. He had to lay out for it, which is better than not getting it. But boy, if he had just kept his feet, it would be a touchdown. Instead, Nolan gets the carry, and oh, I thought he was going to go in. 2nd and goal, inches from the goal line. Strupinski, handoff. Nolan, no! They held him. They did not let him get across the goal line, and that ends the 3rd quarter. Hobart Bay has all the momentum and a 14-point lead. Here we go. 4th quarter starts off, 3rd and goal, inches from that goal line. Handoff again to Tyree Nolan, and this time it's a touchdown. Hobart Bay has a 3-touchdown lead in the 4th quarter, and if they can avoid an absolutely terrible collapse, they will make the playoff. Speaking of which, number 1 Miami is down by 3 in the 4th quarter to number 6 Clemson. That could be interesting if Miami loses. What do? Do you put a 2-loss team in there? Oh my goodness, we might have 2 cases of that. Northwestern is leading Penn State, who is number 3. Imagine if both Penn State and Miami lost. What craziness would ensue? Oh my goodness, that would be such a playoff scenario. We've only ever had 1 2-loss team make it. That was Washington, and that's because after them was a 10-2 team. Monster drops back to throw. He finds Stovall, and Cedric Allen will push him out of bounds after a gain of 4. 3rd down and 4. Handoff to Brandon Stevens, and oh my goodness, he had space. I thought he could have easily gotten the 1st down, but he made a bad cut, and so it's 4th down and 1. UCLA needs this. If they fail this, it's game over. Toss right, Brandon Stevens falls forward and gets it. Oh, they gave it to him. UCLA just barely keeping their head above water. Now Monster looks to throw, finds Ben Williams over the middle. He'll pick up 6 yards. 3rd down and 4. You can't afford to run because you have 4 downs. Monster decides to go for it, and he takes a sack. Oh, that's the last thing that you could do. Michael Wallace makes the play, and now UCLA has to make another 4th down. This one much longer. Monster looking to throw, and he completely misses. A terrible throw, and Hobart Bay holds. They get the ball back, 1st and 10, 4 wide receivers and a running back. They're sending everyone deep. He'll just swing it out to Tyree Nolan, and he'll pick up more than enough for a 1st down. Oh my goodness. What in the world happened to UCLA in this 2nd half? And now Hobart Bay is coming out in the monster formation. This is fun. Strupinski throws, and it's picked off. Douglas gets the pick. He's down at the 9-yard line. So UCLA not quite dead, but it's 3rd down and 10. They need a big play. Monster looks to throw, airs it out, and that is knocked away by Tyler Smith. His second deflection of the day. And UCLA, they're going to punt. Consider this a white flag, everybody. Down by 21 with 4 minutes left. Well, closer to 5. And you punt? Nah. JoJo McIntosh will take this one out, and he won't get much. Hobart Bay, they're going to wind down some clock. Otis Spielberg will come on to take a kick. Get some practice in for your kicker. Here we go. Kick is up, and that one is good. Sometimes he likes to cut it close with that goalpost, but it works there. And Miami survives. #1 Miami. And they beat Hobart Bay earlier, so Hobart Bay will not be taking the 1 spot. Miami will be taking the 1 spot as they just barely edge out Clemson. And we have 3 seconds left. Well, I didn't think it was possible, but how about it? Stovall makes the catch, and hello, college football playoff for the state of Alaska. I cannot believe that this has actually happened, but the original recruiting class is making an appearance in the college football playoff. There's no way that you can keep them out after a performance like this. After the last couple performances, they blew out Boise State, perhaps not impressive, but then they beat a ranked Cal by 30 points, and now they've beaten #10 UCLA by, what is it, 24? That's a pretty big win. You cannot keep Hobart Bay out. Obviously, they won't be a 1 seed because they lost to Miami, and Miami, they won today, but Strapinski earns player of the game. Lackluster on the completion percentage, but Hobart Bay wins back-to-back Pac-12 championships, and this time we're doing more than a Rose Bowl. We're going to the college football playoff. We might actually have a rematch against Penn State, because Penn State was #3. Hobart Bay's not getting #1. And if Penn State managed to pull it out against Northwestern, which I don't know how they got to #5, but they had a great year this year. Actually, Northwestern was the 1 loss that Penn State had this year, so that'd be a good revenge win for Penn State if they could pull it off. But yeah, right now it's looking like Hobart Bay will be #1, not #1, they'll be #2. Miami will be #1. Penn State will probably be #3 if they can get the win. If they can get the win. I'm not entirely sure who will take the 4 spot. It's possible that they didn't play today. Either way, we have stuff to do here. We have a post game to go over. Great stats. I hope to see you there. Strupinski today went 8 for 16, only 50% completion. 207 yards, 69 on that 1 bomb. A touchdown and 2 picks, but ultimately those 1 pick went for a touchdown, but that was it. Tyree Nolan had 62 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Strupinski had 60 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. And Trey Regis got 17 yards there at the end. Through the air, Bubba West, 107 yards. Officially 68 was that 1 touchdown catch. Gio Saria had 1 for 31. And yeah, that was about it. On the defensive end, Doug Glover got 5 tackles, so did Corey Fitzpatrick and Michael Wallace. However, Michael Wallace had 3 tackles for loss. All sacks. He had 3 sacks today. How about that? And then a pick by Jacoby Jackson. That was a pretty good pick, too. Maybe that was the one at the end of the half. Did they have a pick at the end of the half? I can't remember. Zach Massey for UCLA led the team in tackles with 6. He didn't get any picks, though. That would go to Sam London and then Barnes as well. But Barnes's pick didn't come of anything. Sam London's, he got the touchdown. On the receiving end, only 31 yards for Andrew Stovall, their leading receiver, and that last catch of his was absolutely useless. Their receiving core just didn't have anything going today. On the ground, you had a total of 50 yards? 50 yards on the ground. 51 for Brandon Stevens. And then through the air, 15 for 25, 99 yards. They didn't even get 100 yards passing. No touchdowns and 1 pick for Devin Modster. Awful game. Hobart Bay just dominated in everything. They turned the ball over 3 times. Of course, there was one at the end that didn't really matter, so. Hobart Bay wins their 2nd straight Pac-12 title. Oh man, I love this one, and you know we're going to the playoff now. Pac-12 champs, 12-1. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. However, there is more to this than you might think. Actually, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. There isn't any more to this than you might think. There might be a Heisman presentation, but that'll come next week. So, until then, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe, and have a nice day.